Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flick up. Bill, I'm in the mood for a change up. I leave the city and return with my change up. They got amnesia, don't remember how they played us. They wanna knock me down, but somehow I
We talked about last week, foreign substance. Monday was the big day, and man, did they come out swinging. First game, I think it was the Mets. DeGrom, first one, like, what do we need to do? Show glove, hat, and then flick the belt open. They kind of like saw, like, okay, you're good to go.
Yeah, DeGrom didn't care.
Yeah.
DeGrom's like, look, man, I'm going to break. And you know what's crazy about that is not only did they check him for substances, he went on to pitch 5 scoreless innings, right?
Yeah.
And I think he would have had a no-hitter going, but there was an error or something like.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
he could have thrown. He was on track to throw the 7-inning complete game no, but something happened and
at first I was like,
man.
I was like, well, with his shoulder, they're not gonna let him. There's no way they let him. I was like,
if it wasn't for that issue, I don't recall what happened. I'm having a blank right now. But if it wasn't for the issue that caused him the runner,
I think it was a hit where. The outfielder misplayed it, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but I'm saying if it wasn't for that, I don't know what you do in this situation because
it technically doesn't count, even though we would have counted. I know,
but still would have been exciting.
It would have been because technically, yes, we have so many no hitters, but mad bums don't count, but we think it should. But what DeGrom? That had been another debate because now, like, oh, here's the second one.
Yeah,
but
now what's his ERA at? Like a 0.5?
0.5.
Yeah. Unreal.
Ridiculous.
And it takes me back to when they were talking about what was it, Dwight Gooden or somebody or
yeah, and Bob Gibson and Pedro Martinez is they're kind of ones they're bringing up.
But I'm saying they're talking about the MVP years that they had, and at this point DeGrom's got a 0.5 ERA.
They had like a 1 point something.
Exactly.
I think Pedro had the worst at a 2.2 or something at the point when he had that great year. But it's unreal what he's doing. But with it's interesting because we're like, how they're gonna check these guys. So it's after they come off the field they check, but then sometimes they are checking people as they came out of the bullpen when they got to the point. Like I'm like, so what are we doing? I thought we're doing afterwards. Like I'm like, this is getting confusing now.
Well, the craziest thing was, like we were talking before we started recording, was they checked the knuckleballer for the Orioles.
Yeah, the guy they just called off, the one guy who has no spin to the ball that has. Like I'm gonna throw this ball and hopefully it gets in the glove. I need to check you for foreign substance.
As I said, you guys are worried about a 50-mile-an-hour just lobber going in there. Come on, man.
Yeah, I think I laughed. I think someone put it in like slow motion to show you what it did. It was like just like
exactly. It was like okay, guys.
It's like come on, but people, some people like it's whatever. But then Max Scherzer was not happy about it. Of course, after the first inning. He came out. He put his hat and his glove out. Like, what do you need to check? Like, come on.
Was it the first inning? I thought it was like
first
the
inning.
third
He was
or
just
something.
like, come on, just check what I got to do, and then he went on his way. But it was the big thing is when Joe asked to be checked, and it was technically going to be his third time. I guess Max got checked again after so many innings.
It was in like the fourth inning, I think. Yeah,
2 on. Trying to like a lot of people like should Joe Girardi get suspended because it was breaking his rhythm.
Yes, and I think the issue that Max had is because Girardi, prior to the game, I think said that he would not ask an umpire to check an opposing pitcher for foreign substance for purely gamemanship purposes. He said that would be silly. But then a couple hours later, so it's the middle of the fourth inning on Tuesday game. 3-2 loss to the Nationals. He asked them to check Scherzer for his hair for foreign substance after he said he wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? For no reason. Look, man, that's why I think that's why Max. Like,
the next day he apologized. Joe Girardi did because he said he just never seen Max touch his head so much. We're like, well, if they can't use nothing else, sweat, and if you're sweating under a hat, like I know I do in the kitchen, that's guaranteed wetness right there. And because he said. He didn't enjoy eating rosin because that's what he felt like he was eating because every time he was trying to lick his fingers in the first couple of innings. So he switched to wiping his head.
And as we saw, moisture. Who was it? Trevor Bauer that was showing us what you could do with sweat and rosin. Exactly.
So he was just pushing his hair, get that wetness, touch that rosin. But Joe, of course, got angry because, after he got out of the inning, Max kind of looked into the dugout the whole way. Joe Girardi came out, tried to say something, and then he got ejected.
And Joe should have known better. You don't go out there and say something. You just take it and be like, whatever. Come on, Joe. He's been in the game long enough to know.
Right.
You should just let it go. You know what you did. He didn't like it, so that's it. Yeah, he gets ejected. I'm not saying I'm surprised, but like we both said. So Scherzer, the next time they come out there and check him, he's like, about to strip. He's like, okay, look, I'm gonna take everything off. What do you want me to do?
Yeah,
like you've already checked him, right? He was already checked, right?
Yeah.
So why? Come on, guys, what's going on here? You're gonna
that's
check
what
him
he's like.
twice?
No, like because he was about to take his belt off, and it was
Right.
like, no. And I think that's when they told him it was your hair, and you saw one of the arms touch his hair, and then of course they didn't feel nothing. It was just sweat. It's like, come on.
It's getting a little ridiculous.
I'm like, damn, this is day 2. And of course, our fearless leader, Rob Manfred, said, we've done well our first 2 days. I'm like, that's well? That's well.
That was his response.
That's well? I'm like, come on, man. That was a shit show.
Okay, so back to the issue. So we feel that the pitchers are all getting checked because the league thinks that they have an unfair advantage right now throwing against batters, and that's why we got so many no-nos. Well,
no-nos, the average is so low.
Exactly.
To record low averages.
Well, guess what? They've started checking players, and we had a combined no-no against the reigning champs.
Yeah. The Cubs, which
how do you explain that?
I think, what is it, the slowest average fastball in baseball?
The slowest average fastball in baseball.
So, as the Cubs, and they combined...
A combined no-no against...
defending champs, was it second, third best record in the National League, even though they're second in the division.
Look,
it's like,
yes,
come on.
if they would have done a combined no-no against the Pirates, or who's it always getting no-no now, the Diamondbacks or somebody.
What was it, Texas, Diamondbacks, what was the other third team? Seattle.
Yeah, if they would have done it to them, okay, nothing different. But guess what? You guys are checking these pitchers for foreign substances. They don't have any, and they just no-hit the best team in baseball, per se.
Yeah.
Roughly, yes. What do you got to say about that? Now what?
Especially multiple MVPs in that lineup.
That's what I'm saying. So now what are you going to do? Also, talking about unfair advantages, what are we going to do with the tar and the bats then? This gives them an unfair advantage of gripping the bat.
I saw a TikTok where it's like, are they now, like, catchers are the ones cheating because someone put a close-up of someone's catcher's mitt, and it looked like they had something on the catcher mitt, like they're touching it and touching the ball and throwing it back.
That could be.
I'm like,
look, you guys are going to find a way. They're evolving.
Like, this would be interesting if this is true. I need to find this video
the way to do
myself. I'm like,
look, that's the
everyone
way to do
finds
it.
a way. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
People said in NASCAR, if you're not trying to cheat, you're not winning.
Exactly.
Because you got to push the envelope. Okay, yes, you're checking the pitches now. Let's find somewhere else we can do it.
Exactly.
Oh, what? Next thing you know, the shortstop or second baseman who they throw around the ball to, they're gonna have something and throw it back to the pitcher.
But the next best thing to do, like you said,
catcher.
is the catcher. He's the one touching the ball every pitch. Yes, if he has something anywhere, I would obviously do the same. Like, yeah, man, we're gonna put this on the lace. You just do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But I just think it's funny is that now they're trying to crack down because they want to see more hitting, but you just got no-no'd during the checks and all that.
So that brings up our official total of no-nos to 7, which is tying the Major League record for most in a year. We have
nuts.
3 more months to get one. No, that's
without the 7 inning. Yeah.
So if we counted that, we would technically be 8. We would already broken the record.
Right.
3 months in, we would have broken the record.
Which is crazy because I feel like last year we probably had the most home runs. So what are they changing, man? I mean,
the ball.
Yes.
The ball has to be dead.
So even if, but hold on, but even if the ball's, yes, you're right, because how many
You're
of these
getting
no-nos
a lot more ground outs
and during the
than
no-nos,
strikeouts? Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So yes, the guys are hitting the ball, they're not going anywhere.
And then
you guys did
the
too
shift,
much.
too.
The MLB's trying too much, bro. They're trying to do too much.
Honestly, it won't surprise me if next year they cancel the shift. I think a lot of balls are becoming dead or being outs because of the shift.
Well, they've had this shit forever.
I know.
These guys need to learn how to hit.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if they're going to try and limit it, like where they're talking about in one of the minor leaguers where they can't be in the outfield. Mm-hmm. That could be a start for next year. Wouldn't surprise me. But remember, collective bargaining agreement next year. Who knows what the hell this negotiation is going to be like this offseason?
I don't have anything against the shift, man. I feel like, look, you guys have 9 players. Put them wherever the fuck you want and see what happens.
I just hate that. Like, okay, it's a single. Then you see this, your second baseman in low right field.
Right
it's like,
there.
oh God.
And mostly happens to the lefties.
Yeah.
They rake one, and I'm like, whoa, that's a hit. And then they show the camera pan over, and the guy's right there for the catch. Doesn't even have to move because that's what the stats tell them. I don't know how you stop that, man. I mean, yes, if you stop the shift, make them play their true position. I don't know,
this
man.
This is going to be some interesting. If the ball comes alive after the All-Star game,
yes.
like they changed the ball that
go
quick.
back.
Like, that 2020 ball, bring that back.
Exactly.
Bring those cases
And
out,
you
out
know
of
they
the
have
warehouse.
plenty of them. Exactly.
And I'd be like, well, I wonder what happened during the All-Star break. The ball magically got humidified and started bouncing more.
You know who called all this out? Verlander.
Yep.
Verlander made this known. He said, he told him, he's like, look, you guys are, you
Something's wrong
juice
with
the
the
ball.
ball.
Exactly. And now we're seeing that
The home runs
they're going
increase.
too extreme the other way. They barely touch the ball, but yet it makes a huge impact.
And remember, MLB did come out and say we did change the ball a little bit. Well, that little bit has made a dramatic change in baseball this year.
Yeah, not in a good way in their eyes.
No.
If you love the pitchers, the art of pitching, and you've seen all these nobodies you don't know throwing a no hitter this year, well, you got to look into see what the MLB's been doing to make this happen because it's not normal.
Yeah.
And the reason it's not normal is because they did something to the ball to get the advantage away from the hitters.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, man. MLB is trying. I think they're trying too much.
I think they are. I think they're like, okay, let's get it more, involved. We'll get more balls, and they just change it too much.
I mean, it's not just the ball.
It's getting more defensive. People are analytics.
Right.
People are figuring out, and Chick digs the long ball. So I don't know why you changed the ball. Like, I understand pitchers were frustrated, but
I'm saying it's not just the ball. Like the MLB is trying way too much with a bunch of stuff. Like
Yeah.
there's just a lot going on. I think they need to tone it back some and just like let's focus on playing a game.
yeah.
But
We'll see what they come up with.
Exactly.
But the biggest thing is what kind of leverage they have going into negotiations come for collective bargaining.
probably none because
gonna
this
be
is
a
getting ridiculous.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Now with how the season's panning out and the money's being involved.
I wonder if we'll see a strike again, man.
I hope not, because baseball was set back into the home run race.
Yeah.
So I don't even imagine what you think basketball and football right now is already advancing. What will that do if baseball's out of the picture for a year?
I'm just wondering what would have happened if they didn't touch the ball at all. Because, Verlander was saying that the balls were flying out because they touched it.
Yeah.
And now they did it the other way, and they did it too much, and now the balls aren't going anywhere. So it's this is just crazy, man.